The current quota for mainland travel is sufficient, according to the chief executive, but he pledged to review whether there's a need to make adjustments later. Chief Executive John Lee said 30 to 40% of the quota for travel to the mainland in the next 2 to 3 days are still vacant. But not many slots were left for days near the Lunar New Year, especially next Friday, which is over 90% booked. Lee insists that the 50,000 daily limit via land checkpoints fulfills the actual demand, as only 17% of the slots for the first 8 weeks were filled. He urged the public to stay tuned when asked whether the government had overestimated the economic benefits of the border reopening. That's because the number of people arriving in Hong Kong from the mainland has been much lower than those heading north so far.
I think the economic benefits will come positively. It is the beginning of the new reopening of the boundary. Then, of course, people need to make plans to satisfy their own requirements. We are not looking at just 1 or 2 single days. We are obviously looking at the reopening of the boundary crossing in the long run. And obviously, this has been the desire and the wants of a lot of people, not just to satisfy family reunion, but to ensure that the normal business, the normal activities can go about.
Lee said the government is planning a large-scale promotional exercise starting next month to boost tourism and businesses in Hong Kong. He was also asked whether the government would follow Macau and declare COVID as an endemic disease and consider lifting restrictions such as the isolation order for positive patients. Lee responded that the World Health Organization hasn't changed its classification of COVID. He said the lifting of the remaining restrictions will depend on pandemic data.